Hi, I'm Karina Stone and welcome to the Midweek Wrap, your local news and weather program, only on Yarra Ranges Life TV, brought to you this week from Lilydale Lake. On the front page of the Ferntree Gully Belgrave Mail, a grade 6 student is taking a stand for the wildlife of Listerfield by putting forward a petition to reduce the speed limit on Churchill Park Drive. 12-year-old Shannon Underwood has submitted a petition to the KC Council to reduce the 70 km/h speed limit, saying she was inspired to create the petition during a school project on community change, and that she wanted to help the animals, particularly the kangaroos, who are killed in increasingly high numbers on the road each year. With the help of her mum, Shannon also raised money for Sue's kangaroo rescue by putting on her own bake sale, raising over $1,000. The petition was presented to the Council on the 5th of March and a report is due back sometime in May. In the Mountain Views Mail, the Badger Creek Community Planning Group have responded to a request from Parks Victoria to lend a hand in reopening the Badger Weir picnic ground. The site has been closed since October 2016 when a storm caused extensive damage to the park's amenities and over 100 kilometres of walking tracks. Parks Victoria asked the group of 20 members to help assist with the final stages of cleanup, and last Saturday they came together to put the finishing touches on the picnic ground. The group says the park is a special place for many members of the community and hopes that now, with the help that they've provided, it won't be much longer before the park finally reopens. In the Mount Evelyn Mail this week, the federal government is set to invest $4.5 million over 3 years into a mental health hub for the youth of the Yarra Valley and Dandenong Ranges. Member for Casey, Tony Smith, announced the funding, saying that the aim is to help support the youth in the community by establishing a health hub with access to mental and general health services. Mr Smith says he is currently working with the Yarra Ranges Council to establish the Health and Headspace Centre in Lilydale and wants young people to know they will be fully supported with access to counselling, information, advice and any other treatments they may need. In the Rangers Trader Mail, the Dandenong Rangers have been selected as the first CSIRO-led region for battling against a destructive weed known as wandering trad. The weed is notoriously difficult to get rid of and has a reputation for eating away at native flora, causing extensive damage to many of our rainforests. Local community groups have been battling this invasion for years and thus far have had little to no success in permanently removing it. The new initiative from the CSIRO plans to use biological control methods, which have had great success in New Zealand, to finally rid the Dandenong Ranges of wandering trad for good. And finally, in the Upper Yarra Mail this week, the team from the Upper Yarra Valley Historical Society is hoping to honour the memory of their president Tom O'Meara by making this year's Crank Up event the best yet. The group is still reeling from the sudden death of their president and friend and say the only way they know how to truly honour his memory and devotion to the Historical Society is by making this year's event one to remember. The aim of Crank Up is to raise money for the Historical Society, with plenty of entertainment and activities for adults and children, including chainsaw sculptures, steam engine displays, draft horses, arts and crafts, petting zoos and much more. And Yarra Ranges Life TV will be there covering the event live too. So we hope to see you there.
And what have Yarra Ranges Life TV been up to last weekend? Well, it was a chockers one as always, of course. We started off on Sunday. We're going to work our way backwards. We're here at Lilydale Lake. We went to the Yarra Ranges Athletics and the Spectrum Journeys Lilydale Lake Fun Run. We shared their story with you. After that, we went to Yarra Junction, where Ecoss were having the Ecotopia Festival, a fantastic, eco-friendly, of course, festival for the whole family. And I even did a tarot reading live on air for you guys. Then on Saturday, Karina and I, we went down to the Celebrate Mooroolbark Festival. We discovered, of course, the parade at 10 AM. We shared that with you guys live. Also, Karina Stone, she went on one of those Gravitron rides and had to keep her lunch down. That was really fun at the end of our second broadcast. Then on Friday, we were so super humbled. We did two things, right? First on Friday, we went to Churnside Park. They had a twilight market. We got there before it got rained out, so we were lucky to share a bit of that with you. And then we had a chat to Aussie rock legend and superstar, of course, Mark Lizotte. You might know him as Diesel or Johnny Diesel. We were really special because we asked for 5 minutes, he gave us 15, and here's just a little highlight of a special scoop that we got off Mark in our live interview with him. Check it out. The current album, it's a great one, you should get it. It's got some fantastic tracks on there. Of course, the great Soul Revival, Crying Shame, you know, Love Junk. Oh, I forgot you did that. That was a classic. I love that one. So many more, of course, will be discovered at dieselmusic.com.au. What's up for you next?
I'm doing a bunch of EPs this year, which it's a different way of releasing an album.
Yep.
So an album's going to come at the end of it, but it's just like chunks. Like a rocket, you know, when stages drop off.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like a 3-stage rocket and then the big rocket with the album at the end. Which is, it's just like a nice way to do it for me, because I love recording and I love the whole process, and it's almost kind of, when you do it all in one go, it's kind of sad, and you get kind of like post-album depression almost.
Yes.
So to be able to do it in chunks like this, it kind of like, it makes the jar of treats last a bit longer.
And when you're thinking of releasing the first EP, an EP means extended play.
Yeah, which is 4 tracks. I'm doing vinyl and maybe coloured
You're
vinyl.
doing vinyl as well? Yeah,
only
cool.
Vinyl and cassette.
Awesome, yeah.
As far as, it's of course streaming as well.
Yeah.
But as far as the actual physical formats, will be vinyl and cassette, which I'm really excited about because they sound great.
Yeah, no, they do. I love the crackle and the pop of the old LPs, of course. So blow the dust off your stylus and get ready to pick up, of course, the EP. Is that a scoop for us? I
haven't told too many people, actually. I haven't told because it's a very new thing. So I haven't done that many interviews. As you know, everything shuts down over the summer. So you guys are like, you might have gotten it very close to being the first.
We're pretty humbled, mate. Yeah, how special was that? He opened right up to us, of course, and Mark wasn't the only exclusive interview that we share with you this week, because on Wednesday evening at the start of the week, we went to the Wandin Rotary's custom car and bike show. It was the last classic car and bike show for this season, of course, raising money for the Royal Children's Hospital's Good Friday Appeal, and we were lucky as well to have a chat to Bathurst 500 winner from back in 1967, Fred Gibson, of course. He came down to the event, he was blown away, and here's what he had to say about Wandin Rotary's custom car and bike show.
Yeah, right. You know, and I come second in a Mini one time there, and the Mini drivers used to say to the Minis, when you come over the hump at Bathurst with a HO, give it plenty of room because the wind would blow you across the road. and you'd pump the little Minis off. So I had some good experiences. It's been really good stuff.
Fantastic. Look, and thank you so much for, of course, sharing your time and your comments with us here on Yarra Ranges Live TV. Hope you enjoy the rest of the evening here in Wandin, and maybe, look, fingers crossed, maybe we'll see you back next season.
Oh, you certainly will. It's blown me away the amount of people in the cars here. It's unbelievably very special, and I think everyone should be should be very proud of what they put on for the day. It's very special.
Yeah, the Rotary Club of Wandin, they do a fantastic job in, of course, organising the Rotary Wandin's custom car and bike show here at the Wandin East Recreation Reserve. Yeah, that was a special moment for us, of course. A couple of exclusives this week. Scroll back through our playlist, check out the full interviews. But now it's time for the latest, of course, 5-day weather forecast coming up over this weekend. And boy, it's going to be a chockers one as well.
Wasn't that a special interview with Diesel?
Super humbled and blown away. We asked for 5 minutes, he gave us 15. It's a crying shame if you missed out on that interview.
Yes.
You did there. Be sure to scroll back through and check that out, of course, in full. That's one of the many things we did last weekend.
And what have we got coming up this weekend, Pat?
Well, we're back here at Lilydale Lake on Friday evening around 6 o'clock in the evening. Of course, we'll be sharing with you the local entrant into the Cancer Council Research Foundation, one of the major fundraisers. It's one of the box rallies. It's actually the shit box rally. We'll be sharing Stanley, the entrant, and of course the story of Lee and Heather behind that one.
Yes, and Saturday we're at Alwyn Gardens for the Harvest Market.
That's right, Karina. And then also on Saturday in the evening, how's this? We've got a very special event coming up. We're live streaming some comedy for the first time on Yarra Ranges Live TV.
Wow.
All part of the Art of Speech Festival. It's at the Memorial Hall in Hillsville, all part of the Melbourne International Comedy Festival as well. So we're pretty excited to be sharing that with you guys on Yarra Ranges Live TV in the evening. And Sunday, in the morning, we're up in Kalorama at Fernie Creek. There's a special car rally taking place, all part of Belgrade Rotary's fundraising efforts. And in the afternoon, we're off to Upway, of course, to share with you a special market that's taking place there too. So always lots on in the Yarra Valley and the Ranges. Yes.
Jam-packed.
And as always, a big thanks to everyone involved in this week's production, of course. Danny Field, production assistant extraordinaire, the man behind the camera, both live and recorded. And of course, we have to thank Karina Stone for doing another wonderful read for us this week in the Midweek Wrap.
Thank you.
Love your work, Karina.
Thanks.
Of course, I'm Pat Boucher.
I'm Karina Stone, and as always, we're living, loving, and sharing life in the Yarra Valley and the Ranges. Only on
Yarra Ranges Live TV. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Cheers.
That was funny!